Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Osoyoos Town Council at Tuesday, May the 19th, 2015, 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. First of all, we're going to have a adoption of minutes, and there are the Committee of the Whole minutes from May 14th, 2015, regular open minutes from May 2015, and the Parcel Tax Roll Review Panel minutes from May the 4th, 2015. And I just had one correction that I would like to include, please, and it would be the Committee of the Whole minutes. Under delegations, Mr. Lintel came, and about 10 rows down it says, Mayor McCordoff noted that there have been 2 revisions to the sign bylaw, and in fact there have been 10. So I'd like to have that changed to 10. Thank you. Is there anything else that anybody needed to bring up? No, then those minutes will be adopted as, do I have to have a motion for that because it's been amended? Okay, thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Youngberg, that we move the adoption of the minutes as amended. All in favor? Thank you, carried. Business arising from prior minutes, nothing there. Introduction of late items, and we do have one. It is a motion that is being brought forward from the closed meeting this morning. So, motion IC 68-15, moved by Councillor Campbell and seconded by Councillor Youngberg, and resolved that motion IC 67-15 be released to the open meeting on May 19th, 2015. Motion IC 67-15, moved by Councillor Rhodes and seconded by Councillor Campbell, and resolved that Council accepts the report of May 19th, 2015 as information and provides direction for administration to stop all administrative action to enable the repurposing Lot 1013, Plan KAP 39476, District Lot 2450S from airport lands to commercial industrial purposes. And that was carried with a 4-to-1 vote. I'm just going to explain that a little bit. There were quite a few, quite a lot of talk about this back and forth. There have been some, we're not quite sure whether the lands should be repurposed from an airport site to a commercial or a business site, and therefore, due to the fact that home building is not going up there right now, due to several other things, a lot of items on our plate at the moment, we have decided that we will not go forward with this any further. That being said, if we choose to open up this negotiation again, it's very easy just to bring up the resolution and redo it at that time. We just felt that we didn't have the time nor the inclination at the moment to continue on with this. So next, sorry, did I have to have that moved and seconded, or was that correctly done? No, we're done. Okay. We do have a delegation, which is the Osoyoos royalty candidates, and because of school, they are not able to be here till 3 o'clock. So we're going to put them off until a little bit later and skip over that. So we're down to water matters, and where are we here? And so the water district cash requirements to May the 19th, 2015 are in the amount of $22,365.08 for council approval.
I move.
And seconded, so moved Councillor Moreira, seconded Councillor Ray. All in favor? That be approved. Thank you. Next is the Okanagan Basin Water Board highlights from a board report put out on May the 8th. And you will see at the very top of it that we have Councillor Youngberg in the picture. And this was the Make Water Work done on that day, and it was in Kelowna. Several things on the minutes. The minutes are available for you to have a look at if you like. Invasive mussels, zebra and quagga mussels. It's been realized that this could be a real threat to our waters, and there was quite a discussion about it at the OBWB, and I believe that there will be some of the directors who will be asking for a meeting with the minister at UBCM in September. So we'd like to push forward with that a little bit. And the Make Water Work. Councillor Youngberg, did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Everyone should go online and register. You have an opportunity to win $6,000 of free xeriscape landscaping, and then there's a $2,000 additional prize for the name that they draw out of the hat after you register. But it's a really worthwhile project, and you should register online. Save the water. What did they say? They said, don't mow, make it grow. So it's maybe better that you leave your grass 3 inches long. Saves the watering and the mowing.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much for attending that. I do know that that Sandu's greenhouses in Osoyoos is part of the of this initiative, the Make Water Work project. So it's up and down the valley, and I know that there are some plans in place to get drought plans in order, because there's kind of a fine line sometimes between drought, having too much water and too little water. At this point, it looks like there's not quite enough water. So there are drought plans, and the Okanagan Basin Water Board is the 3 regional districts, North, Central, and South, representatives from each one, plus several other people that are on that board, and they look at these kinds of issues for the valley. Anybody else? No? Not today. Okay, thank you. Next on our list is a letter from the Osoyoos and District Museums and Archive. It's addressed to Mr. Mark Pendergraft with a CC to me, and it is, I'm not going to read it, it's there. It's some direction that the Board of Directors would like. Yes, Mr. Romenko.
Just as part of that letter, Mayor McCordoff, in the third item, designated liaison, the Museum Society is asking that the town of Osoyoos provide a designated person, either elected or staff, to serve as the official liaison with the group. So perhaps council can either make that decision today or refer this letter to the next committee of the whole meeting with a staff report.
I believe that we have time to do that. Perhaps we should have a staff report. In the meantime, I am happy to deal with issues as they come up, and then we'll do that June 1st. Okay. Thank you. Did we need a motion for that?
Yes, I think we should have a motion.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Campbell, that we add that to the COW report for that June 1st. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Okay. Next is some expense forms for Councillor Youngberg and Councillor King, who both attended, Councillor Youngberg, Okanagan Regional Library, and BC Economic Development, and Councillor King would be Silga. There is a per diem rate of $100. Could someone? Thank you. Councillor Campbell, are you approving both of those? Thank you. And Councillor Rhodes seconding it. All in favor? Thank you. Museum funding from Home Builders Lease. Mr. Romenko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. The Home Builder store is leased to home builders with an annual lease payment being provided to the regional district. The regional district has a letter of understanding that has been approved by the regional district board and the town of Osoyoos Council that the Museum Society can access up to $50,000 per year to assist with the development of the new museum. The remaining funds are to be placed in reserve to develop a major building repair fund. The Society must apply annually to the Regional District to receive their funding, and associated projects must be identified. The Regional District has not approved the funding without will not approve the funding without a resolution from Council that approves the project. Attached is the Society's request for $42,000 and the associated projects that will be funded. In terms of implications, the community will benefit from museum moving to a new location with development based on funding external to the community. No organizational impacts, no budget impacts to the municipality. Significant dates: funding request will go to the next Regional District Board meeting for final approval. Three options are presented, one being the Council approves the request for $42,000 to fund the projects listed in the attached package. The second being Council denies the funding request for $42,000 to fund the projects listed in the attached project package. And third, Council requests additional information. In terms of recommendation, the administration recommends option number 1. With the move of the project to the 2019-2020 period, there may be some questions asked about the need to fund a grant writer in 2015. In previous discussions, the Society has stated that funding sources are hesitant to fund any project that doesn't have a 1 to 1.5 year development window.
Thank you. We do have the letter here from Mr. Hassan, and with several things that that he has asked for, and I'm wondering if Mr. Hassan would like to speak to any of these. You've hired a contract to do fundraising, and in lieu of what's sort of transpiring, we just wondered if this was exactly the same as that you wanted it. Would you like to come and sit up here, Mr. Hassan, and then we can turn on a microphone for you? Is this one on? Sure. Thank you. It's a very confusing issue right now, and Mr. Hassan has not been advised by the Regional District exactly what has transpired yet. We have made the recommendation that was made publicly, but and it was, I know I was there, it was passed at the Regional District. They just haven't forwarded that information to you. Is that correct?
We officially are unaware of what decision has been made by whom, when, how, and frankly, until such time as there is clarification, we're in a bit of limbo.
Yes.
In terms of what we've requested be approved for transfer from the Capital Reserve Fund, the first item was the amount of the renewed contract with the grant writer fundraiser. This was signed on the 6th of February. It was our understanding until we were sideswiped at the end of March and then in April that we were within the 1.5 to 2 years of getting possession of the property, and therefore had to continue with our process. We had no inkling or warning, nor did Council, I appreciate, that there was going to be a change in anyone's plans, and so we were doing what we felt was necessary. One clarification I would like to make to something that Mr. Romanko said, and it wasn't that it was in error. Some of the granting agencies require that we be within the 18 to 24 month use the money, don't apply before then phrase, but not all are. Some of the foundations do not have that stipulation, and so therefore some of the funding that we are after we continue to search for now, even though it would appear to be that our target end is now not till January 1st of 2020. So much, some of the work, and in fact much of the work, needs to continue, and we have to take advantage of the downside is we have until the end of 2019 to live with what we've got. The upside is that we need to make the best use of that time in order to raise the funds that we're going to need to convert the building and develop the exhibits for the new museum. But the work cannot be left now for 2 or 3 years and nothing happen. It must continue. Some of our work with the foundations, for example, is very clearly we need to make upwards of 5 contacts with these foundations in terms of the preliminary contact, the follow-ups, and so on. So some of these things do take 2 or 3 years to come to fruition, and so that part we need to continue. We have started the conversation with Michelle Lang, the grant writer, about some alterations to the current contract, but we have said that we can't, in fairness, do anything more until we know legally and certainly where we stand. She is aware of the fact that the ground rules have changed somewhat, and we have started a conversation about how we might modify the expectations and the detail that's in the back of that contract to better fit with where we are now. We have also said that we do not know and cannot tell at this point where we will be for 2016, because we need to find out where we are and what we need. But if former Councillor Ryan were still here, and given his experience, he would attest to the fact that fundraising is not an amateur activity. Secondly, it takes place over a series of contacts and renewed contacts and sustained contacts over time, and that we will need some assistance no matter what in the intervening time, even though there is a longer period. So we will, once we get definitive information from the regional district about the length of the contract and whether there's an escape clause and all of those other kinds of things, we will then have a conversation with Michelle Lang regarding possible adjustments to the terms of her contract for this year. But as I said at the beginning, in all fairness and in all honesty, we signed a contract with her on the 6th of February for the period until the end of January of next year. It's a binding contract on us, and now we will adjust in consultation with her the best we can under the changing circumstance.
Good. Well, that makes perfect sense. That I'm sure she'd be agreeable as long as the contract was there to make some adjustments. And the other 3 items that you have here are all continuing on, and those will be part of the 42.
Yes, they are. The work with we had some choices to make in terms of moving to the next phase with the exhibit development, and we made the decision to continue with David Jensen, who was part of the original submission with Anthony Bonney and David Jensen. And so for an all-inclusive amount, including travel and disbursements and so on, we're looking at a proposed contract not to exceed $15,000 to take the exhibit design to the next phase. He has already done more for us for no additional fee than we would have expected from any contractor. And we have, we believe, a very attractive and very workable plan, but we need his assistance to take it to the next stage. As you can appreciate, we cannot do much in terms of the new building until we get possession. But there is probably upwards of 90% of the exhibit development and production can be done prior to getting possession of the building, so that when we do get possession and we get in and the contractor can work on the wiring and the plumbing and the construction and all that sort of thing, that the exhibit development will go in and be hung and displayed in a fairly short period of time once the construction alterations are done. So even though we won't occupy the building theoretically until January of 2020, and that the architect is saying that he will need approximately 3 months to make the physical changes to the building, we still believe that we will be able to open in the spring, but just the spring of 2020, and not the spring of 2017 as we had been planning for a number of years. The other items are fairly straightforward. All of our campaign and fundraising materials were based on a possession of the building on October 1st of 2016, and an opening of the building and the new museum in the spring of 2017. Those are all out of whack now because of the changing circumstance, which was beyond all of our collective controls. And so we'll need to redo those materials. And we have asked that a small proportion of the cost. We were able to acquire some very lightly used heavy-duty rolling metal storage cabinets similar to are used in other museums. These were used, I believe, in an accounting firm. And so we're going to use a small amount of the capital reserve money to help offset the acquisition and transportation costs of those metal units, which will greatly aid our being able to store and access archival materials in the future. So those are the explanations for the reasons for things. We delayed in bringing the application forward until now because we were awaiting an outcome of the change in lease. And we also wanted some additional information from David Jensen and Associates so that we could make what we hope is the only request for this year, which is under the $50,000 guideline limit for any given year.
Well, thank you, and I'm certainly glad we asked you to explain that, because it looks like you've got a few things that you can be doing over the next couple of years before this actually happens. So thank you very much for that, and we certainly understand why you need this. Now, Council needs to have a resolution to okay this in order for it to go to the regional district. Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So I'd like to make a motion based on the wording in option 1 that Council approves the request of $42,000 to fund the projects listed in the attached package.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor King. Anybody else like to speak to it? All in favor? Thank you. That was taken care of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
And the next item that we have is the landfill fee reduction request. Mr. Romanko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Waste Management Bylaw number 1309 identifies a fee of $200 per ton on the first 500 kg and $700 per ton for the portion above 500 kgs, with a minimum of $50 for non-assessed demolition waste and renovation mixed load. Burned material loads are charged under this rate. We have no rate for burned materials as identified by Mr. Pond. Latest information provided by the Regional District illustrates that their rates, their actual burned material rates, are going up as of May 1st, 2015, and then these rates are attached, show that they're very similar to our rates. The burned material rate at Okanagan Falls has increased to the same rate that we have charged for the non-assessed demolition waste. There were 10 loads hauled to the landfill as a result of this fire for a total weight of 22.94 metric ton, or 22,940 kg. The large weight could be associated with the amount of equipment and material that were in the garage and the weight associated with wet material. Mr. Pond is asking for a reduction in the total landfill charge of $13,553. In terms of implications, the community benefits from having a landfill that will meet the needs of the community for an extended period of time. Fees for using the landfill must reflect the cost of landfill closure and replacement of service. Fees are set to eliminate landfill shopping that will decrease the lifespan of the facility. There's no organizational impacts. In terms of budget, landfill budget has a revenue target based on fees and charges by law. The fees and charges were increased in 2015 to enable the consistency in Valley and reflect future servicing costs. In terms of options presented, 4 options are presented, and first one being that Council denies the request for a refund. The second one being Council approves a refund, identifies an amount, and directs staff to create a fee amount for the burn material. Option 4, Council approves a one-time fee reduction. Option 3, and option 4 is Council requests more information. The administration recommends option number 1, that the fee reduction be denied. The fees charged by our landfill are consistent with other landfills and reflect the costs needed to operate and close the landfill. The nature of the material in a burn situation is very similar to non-assessed demolition. Therefore, the fees need to remain consistent to the product. The situation of loss may be different. However, the nature of the material is still very similar.
Thank you. Is would anyone like to make a, yes, Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I have a bunch of questions and I'm not sure how to get the answers, but I would like to kick-start it by offering a motion based on the wording in number 2. I think we needs a little bit of discussion about the amount, and if maybe I should just pause for a second and look for a seconder to that.
Is there anybody who would like to second that? Okay, thank you. Seconded that we do number 2. Now, would you like to explain what you mean by that?
Sure.
Okay.
Often when residents have, catastrophic situations happen to them, sometimes there needs to be a vision of difference from normal bylaws and that kind of thing. One of the questions that I wanted to ask would help me in my decision-making process is about the insurance implications to this. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure whether there was recovery from insurance, and I'm not even sure whether it's appropriate to ask that or whether we can even verify it. To me, that adds another dimension to it. If it is a total loss and a cost to one of our residents, I think we need to look towards a little bit of a refund. I'm not sure whether it's been paid or at least a reduction in the amount that's been paid. I'm thinking somewhere in the order of about 35 to 40% reduction in it. I don't really have any other explanation for arriving at that amount. It's just that it seemed to feel good to me. But I think that council, and certainly from myself, showing a little bit of sensitivity towards residents that suffer from a loss of this kind is something that's very appropriate for us to do. So I just, that's why I'm making that motion and somewhat of an explanation to it. And I think there needs to be some, more input than just from myself on this. So
that was the one thing that occurred to me as well. Would insurance pay for this? And I don't know. I'm also looking at Sunshine Cove. There are 10 units down there. I think 9 of them had insurance and 1 didn't. And I'm wondering if that enters into it at all, or whether it's a similar situation.
Well, I think Sunshine Cove, the tenant didn't have insurance for their
inside
contents, yeah. but the building was insured.
The building is insured. Yeah. Now, do we know whether that would include the landfill cost to take that to the landfill? That's the issue here, isn't it?
The insurance covers is part of the total cost of the burn cleanup is to deal with the waste.
The waste
if the building is in fact insured.
Okay. Councillor Youngberg?
And just to clarify too, I was under the impression that the insurance company pays for the actual cleaning up of the individual units as well. And this contractor was able to clean the units out and take the debris to the landfill. So I'm sure it's all covered by insurance. But I would like to find out more before I voted on this motion.
I believe that the owners are sitting in here. Is it appropriate to ask them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to make a motion, have council agree to have them speak if they in fact want to speak to the issue.
I would make that motion.
Thank you. And is somebody seconding that? Thank you. All in favor of asking? I assume you are the owners of the property. So we have a motion passed that we would allow you to. Would you like to come up to the microphone and explain? And you do understand our question that we assume that insurance would cover this, and that's why.
Insurance does cover it, but the cost of the disposal comes out of the rebuilding money. So if you're insured for $75,000, that $15,000 comes out of your $75,000. So if you're not insured, you don't have enough insurance to cover that. When the rates go up, we didn't know about it. My contractor didn't know about it, so it was dumped as usual, and it went in as demolition, because you have no burned material rate.
So it should have been, when it was originally taken up to the landfill, it should have been noted that that's what it was instead.
Well, you don't have a rate for burned material here.
Yeah, we don't have a rate for burned material, but in looking what the regional district does, for example, Mr. Pond made a comparison with the OK Falls landfill for pricing, but the regional district is now going to the same pricing rates because of the activities of people. They try and get burn material under different classifications and to save money. So the regional district has gone basically to say this material is unassessed. It may have contaminants in it. It can't be recycled, so it should be treated as non-assessable material, and that's why the rates are almost consistent
Yes.
at the rate that we have.
So in Oliver and OK Falls and Campbell Mountain, which is Penticton, they do have rates for burn materials, which is consistent with what we have at our landfill. Am I correct in that, Mr. Romanko?
Well,
And that's-
looking at the OK Falls now is consistent with our rate. Oliver, which again is a regional district, they have $150 for the first 500 kg, and then 500 for portion above, for any portion above 500 kg. So I don't know.
So Campbell Mountain and Oliver are exactly
And
the
then-
same, and OK
They were
Falls is...
all those rates were recently changed.
May 1st they were changed.
Yeah.
And did anyone get notification of that?
I think that...
As far as people who live in town or contractors or anyone else were told that the rates had changed?
I would think it was, I mean, I don't specifically remember, but it would have been at the regional district meeting, and our rates are already set.
Right,
We
no, I
have
understand that.
our rates set.
Because before May 1st, it was $150 across the board at OK Falls. It was $300 at Campbell Mountain, and that's across the board, like no extra after tonnage. And it's only recently been changed, my understanding from Mr. Romanko, because people are trying to cheat it. And I think in our situation doesn't apply.
So
Well,
can I ask? I just wanted to ask.
Go ahead.
Can I just ask, so you're indicating to us that the quote was given to you based on the rate prior to the May 1st change?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
My contractor
And
was
what's
not
the
aware.
difference? What's the difference?
I'm not exactly sure, but probably in an area of $8,000.
Right.
We expected, he quoted me $3,000 to $4,000 for disposal, and it ended up costing 14 plus with tax.
Okay.
Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just so that there can be a little bit further information, this has a lot to do with compassion and sensitivity towards a resident that has a loss. This is not all about the arithmetic and the mathematics of figuring out, what it was and what it is now. And I still support my motion, based on the wording there. I think we need to have further analysis on this burn material thing and perhaps bring it up at a future meeting. Doesn't do us any good today. It didn't do us anything, good a month ago. But I still have compassion and sensitivity towards a resident that has suffered a loss, and that's why I'm continuing to support this based on that wording.
And Councillor Campbell?
I would say, when I read this initially a couple of days ago, and I was a little bit torn because, to make amendments and to make exceptions usually opens the door for many future situations. But at the same time, as Councillor Rhodes just stated, I believe it's important to show compassion for residents that are dealing with an unexpected catastrophe of sorts. So I still support this motion.
Okay, thank you. Was anyone else like to speak to Councillor King?
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I guess there is compassion, but I guess when you relate to how many fires there might be in the town, and then we're going to open the door for everybody to come forward like you are, looking for a discount, it really becomes kind of a hard question to answer. I can see some compassion. I just find 30 or 40% a really high number personally, but I could see giving a discount of some sort.
Could we, I'm mixed up about the motion. Do you have the motion in front of you, Ms. Scott?
Moved by Councillor Rhodes, second by Councillor Campbell, and resolved that Council approves a refund, identifies an amount, and directs staff to create a fee amount for burn material.
So there was an amount in there, I believe. Did you not have an amount in there? I didn't hear that.
There's no amount identified.
A percentage.
8%,
Oh.
I'd say a
A
percentage.
percentage? Was that what you had suggested?
Well, at this point in time, I would ask the seconder for a friendly amendment to it and insert that 40% figure in there.
40% of the original or 40%?
Yeah. 40% reduction in the overall cost.
40% reduction. That's what I thought I heard you say. Is that what you?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion now, would you mind reading it again, please, Ms. Scott, once you've got it done?
All right, moved, Councillor Rhodes, second Councillor Campbell, and resolved that council approves a refund identifying the amount of 40% reduction in the overall cost and direct staff to create a fee amount for burn material.
Everybody in agreement with that? Yes.
So if we were to approve the 40% reduction, then I would suspect that you're looking at probably $8,000 or $9,000, which was actually your original quote. 40% of $14,000
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
approximately that amount of money. So would you be satisfied with that?
I would. I'd like, can I say something?
Yes.
Sure.
I'd just like you to know that this garage was 633 square feet with one 10-foot interior wall. The foundation is still there. The concrete slab went to another fill site. So that's just the framing of a burnt-out garage. That's what that charge is for.
I thought it was that you had some fancy motorcycles in there. Was that
That's
included
under,
in that?
That's under a different insurer.
Oh, it's under, okay. Well, that's pretty amazing, isn't it, that it costs that much? Yeah, I
And
agree with
you're
you.
looking at Sunshine Cove. What's it going to cost to get rid of that thing?
No idea. I have no idea. That's why, what made me think
Yes.
of it, because I don't know, and I don't know whether they've even come up with something there. Councillor Rhodes?
Just to add, I'm very much viewing this as being a one-off situation. I don't think we're setting a precedent here. Every situation hopefully will have its own unique circumstances, and I feel very comfortable dealing with this one in its uniqueness on this particular day. I don't feel like we're setting a precedent for the future.
And the fact that the motion includes asking for something on burn material will solve that problem for another time. Mr. Manko.
So is the administration to set a burn material rate reflecting this new 40% reduction?
No, I think we need to have a burn material, a similar added to our bylaw, like we have, like the other three have.
But, well, this is a rate that's being identified as a potential. Is this the, if we add, because I'm being directed to provide a new rate into our bylaw, and I'm being given a dollar figure here for a situation. So is this the guiding principle, that I come back with a rate that's 40% of?
No,
Okay.
I would think, and I will ask the others as well, that we look at the rates charged by the 3 landfills that are here and base our rates on that to be consistent. Is that not what you're, because we don't have something about burned right now.
What about when, I have to ask this.
Yes?
Councillor Rhodes, so when the insurance company brings all the 5,000 to 8,000 truckloads of burn material from Sunshine Cove, are we going to give them the same reduction as we are this individual?
Well, you've asked me a question, out of due respect, I think I just answered that. I'm viewing this as being a one-off situation.
Right.
Has nothing to do with anybody in the future, anything that happened in the past, or may not happen.
Yes,
I believe we're
Councillor
talking
King.
two different things. I think one's here, a resolution to give a discount on this particular item, and then pass another resolution to upgrade our bylaws around burn material.
Would it be easier if we made that into 2 resolutions rather than one?
It would be, because
Okay.
it's two separate actions, and then I'll be looking to council for some type of rate that would be, I can bring a number of options of rates. One of the suggestions was to use the other rates. Well, the other rates are basically no different that are used than what we already have. So treating the actual refund as a separate motion, I think, would be helpful, and take away the second action, in which you can then provide me some direction on.
Are you agreeable to that?
I'm happy to do that, yeah. We'll separate
Separate the 2
issues.
motions?
Probably should have from the beginning.
If that's all right with the seconder? So, we're going to deal with the first motion first. And the first one is, if you wouldn't mind, Ms. Scott.
Moved Councillor Rhodes, seconded Councillor Campbell, and resolved that council approves a refund identifying the amount of 40% reduction in the overall cost.
All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. The second motion now that we find that we ask for the bylaws to be updated to be in line with on burn materials, to be in line with the other three that are mentioned. Does that make sense? Yes.
Yes. Well, again, the rates are very similar to what we have, so I think the direction would be to bring back some options, including what's being charged by the other landfills.
So the suggestion is that we ask staff to prepare a report for the next meeting where options are put forward, and we'll then deal with it.
Could I ask for a little leniency relative to the next meeting?
Absolutely. I think the next meeting is going to start at 7 a.m. and it's going till midnight, I'm sure. You can make it? No. Yes, I think that.
It's just that, excuse me,
Yes.
we're heading into tax time, and Jim, our Director of Finance, would be the one doing the bylaw amendments, so.
All right. Are you in agreement with that? So that we would instead of making we would recommend that staff bring forward a bylaw adjustment sometime in the future. Ideally, probably into the 2016. But if you want it in this operating year, just tell me that, and we'll probably get it to you in fall. I'm a little bit concerned about Sunshine Cove, and that's why I'm thinking that we need to maybe have something put in there. Does that make sense? Yeah, as quickly as possible. Councillor Rhodes?
Well, I hate to be narrow-minded about this thing, but we do have a bylaw that covers Sunshine Cove right now.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do, so we don't need to worry about that.
Well, it's the way it was yesterday is the way it is today,
All right.
and will be tomorrow.
Okay.
One question?
Yes.
I just want clarity, Mr. Romeko. Do we have a line item that identifies burn material? No. Or when you say it's comparable, I don't have our bylaw on our.
Well, we charge it as non-assessed demolition waste.
Okay, and I think we just want clarity as a burn material, so you can identify it with the other towns.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I agree. I thought that's what we were doing, just having it identified as a burn material rather than non-assessed demolition. I think that might clear it up, make it clearer for other people. When this happens.
Just change the wording.
Yep.
All right, so we're at, that was a bit confusing. So where we are is asking for a change to our bylaw at the landfill as quickly as possible, right?
I think we need to be more specific as to what that is by stating that we are looking for an amendment for burn material.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking for an amendment to Waste Management Bylaw 1309 that sets up a new category of burn material.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm suggesting that burn material be charged at what is the existing non-assessed demolition waste rate.
Okay. Just change the word,
Works.
Okay.
Which is what's here. Okay.
Can we?
Did you two make that motion? These two make it.
And
Are you two making this motion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
with the fee identified at the same rate as the non-assessed demolition waste.
Which is the same as the burn that's
Yeah.
on here. Perfect. So we have Councillor King and Councillor Youngberg making that motion. Okay, thank you.
Resolved, Councillor King and seconded Councillor Youngberg, that council directs administration to prepare a report providing options to amend the Waste Management Bylaw 1309, setting a new category for burn material with the fees identified as the same rate as non-assessed demolition waste.
That sounds fine to me. All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is the senior planner recruitment. Mr. Romanko.
Okay, Council provided the attached report. Council was provided the attached report at the budget meeting on February 10th, 2015, and the following motion was passed by Council, senior planner position, moved by Councillor Rhodes and seconded by Councillor Campo, and resolved that Council approves the senior planner position for 2015. The attached job description has been developed to capture the scope of the new job functions for this new position. It's been reviewed by legal counsel and human resources consultants. Attached research information has been completed to support a recommendation to council on the wage for this position. In terms of implications, the community will benefit from having a senior planner with a combination of comprehensive knowledge of contemporary planning process, community engagement skills, highly developed interpersonal skills that will facilitate high-quality customer service in the planning department, and project management skills. Organizationally, additional staff of this nature enables the completion of projects identified in the 2015 to 18 business plan. The position has been budgeted for in 2015. Significant dates, position will be advertised once council approves the salary range. Most of the planned duties will enhance our ecological and social economic sustainability efforts. Three options are presented. Council approves a salary of $39.50 per hour for the senior planner position to be added to Schedule A of the collective agreement between the Town of Osoyoos and QP Local 608. Option 2, Council identifies another wage for the senior planner position. And 3, Council requests additional information prior to approving a wage rate for the senior planner position. Administration recommends option number 1. We are of the opinion that the comprehensive research study of the wages of similar positions in the neighboring communities illustrate that this is a fair wage for this professional position. This position will receive benefits as outlined in our collective agreement. And the information package includes wage comparisons from 10 different communities on the position.
And we also have the budgeting for the senior planner position. Is that?
Yes, that was the report that was provided in the February.
From February. Okay,
the February meeting.
Got that. All right, council. Anybody have anything to say about this? Councillor Campbell.
No questions, but I'll make a motion that council approves a salary of $39.50 per hour for the senior planner position to be added to the Schedule A of the collective agreement between the Town of Osoyoos and QP Local 608.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor King. Anybody like to speak to this? Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a couple of questions. No opposition from the union. I know that's a statement, not a question. I'm also wondering about the benefits package, how they compare to some of the other municipalities that are listed on there.
Well, first of all, I have to get a council-approved wage before I can take it to the union. I don't suspect there'll be any issues from the union because of the nature of the information that's provided. In terms of providing the background on benefits of those, like the benefits for municipalities vary significantly. I'd have to go back to them and say, what is your benefits percentage that you build into your, most of them are around 30%.
And just looking at the information that you gave us, this particular amount here is the average between the maximum and minimum wage. So
that's right.
Sort of
yeah.
where you came up with it,
yeah.
I'm sure. Okay, anybody else have anything? All in favor of the motion? Thank you, that's carried. Next is a notice of motion. No, we don't have anything for that. General accounts. I'm trying to look at two or three different types of information here. I've got one and then another and something on the computer, so I get a little confused sometimes. Okay, so general net payroll and Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts, and this is from Janice Steen, our payroll clerk, and we have general cash requirements of $553,283.64. Sun Bowl cash requirements of $10,878.92, and those will both be adopted by consensus. And we have net payroll accounts of $67,538.62, and that's received for information. Next is the building permits. And it's quite interesting to look at the building permits. I think they will be, there they are, they're up there on the board. If we look at last year, the total for the month is $210,000, and total to date, 2015, $2,841,000, and to date in 2014 was $1,914,000. So we're almost $1 million ahead in this year. So we need to move that that the building permit be received for information. Could someone? Thank you. Thank you. Rhodes, King, Rhodes, all in favor? Thank you very much. And next, we have committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report? No? And do you?
You.
Sorry. I said do you.
I thought
yes.
I was before. That's why I thought, oh, okay. Anyways, reporting from the regional Okanagan Library. And we do have, we have had the last 3 to 4 meetings. And part of the meeting that we have recently had is over the lease rate that the regional library is paying Osoyoos. And we have, in the previous council, made a request that the lease rate be in the vicinity of $12 per foot. And
So Youngberg, we have not dealt with that yet.
It's in camera.
And it's the in camera. Remember, we have to do that after this meeting. So
oh,
maybe,
sorry.
Yeah, maybe
oh,
what you
sorry,
could do. No, you can tell us about the meetings, just not that particular.
Oh,
part.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
We didn't have time for the rest of our meeting this morning, so we have to do it after this one.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So the meeting, as I was just saying, consists of discussion about the lease rate and our traffic figures at the library. So we tend to use comparison of the 26 libraries that are currently under comparison to the Osoyoos Library. So it's been very informative, and we are very satisfied with our library. The location, the traffic figures are up, and those are figures they just haven't obtained over the last, say, 3 to 6 months. So those will be included in their next report, which will be in September of this year. Other than that, I've been busy around the community trying to fundraise for Derby Nights for Desert Park, and hope to support the building renovations and the horse races that are coming up on August the 8th and 22nd.
Thank you. We'll go back to CAO's report.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few of the activities that we've been involved in over the last couple of weeks, starting with corporate services, and first of all, finalized the draft annual report and the annual report summary for the directors to review, and went out for quotes for printing. And just a reminder that the annual meeting is on June 1st. Received employment applications for summer students and the program supervisor positions, interviews for public works students, and shortlisting and interviews for the relief casual clerk positions. Transit has been an issue with trying to secure contingency buses while the transit bus is under repair, with a new bus expected sometimes by the end of May. And we've had to use our community bus in a few situations, but we don't charge for it. It's provided as a community service because we can't be a commercial operation. But at least we had the bus on the road. Assisted in the emergency support services for the Oleander fire on May 1st. The janitorial contract request for proposal went out, and facility tours with prospective contractors. The boat trailer parking permits and hotel and campground packages were distributed, and the unsightly complaints are starting to flow in the front door. In terms of the planning department, on May 6th, the Planning Development Services approved the first vendor application under Council's 2014 policy for Sandra Beaton to operate Standy's hot dog stand in the Sage Pub parking lot. May 7th, the Waterfront Steering Committee met with Ed Gaffone of CTQ Consultants to kick off the Gyro Park Pier study. And on May 8th, the Fire Hall Coordination Committee met with the architect Whitmar Abel and his subcontract consultants to review 60% completion drawings and cost estimates for the new fire hall. In terms of public works, the flower baskets are up, and I was just told that the new portable planters that were put up on the street today as of this morning, and we had some very happy people to see those being put out. They're reviewing the crack sealing contract, as they feel that some of the work may not have been done. 2 students have been hired, and they've been working very hard and diligently on our grass and some other areas, and 1 more will be added in the next week or so. The buoys are out and on all our swimming areas, and June 2nd is scheduled for the open house on the 74th upgrades. In terms of myself, we had a meeting, kind of a strategic meeting, met with Peachland staff and Oliver staff to discuss the 5,000 population implementation of the RCMP, talking about some of the learnings of Peachland, preparation of for the 4-month review, work plan review. Also did a Gyro Park construction inspection, as we're just about finished on the Phase A, and also completed a Gyro Park press release and sent it to the province for their review. And that's my report for today.
Thank you very much. Could we have a motion to accept the report? Thank you.
A motion to accept, but I'm surprised that CIO Romenko didn't mention anything for bragging rights with the town hockey pool, so we'll give you that opportunity.
It ain't over till it's over.
He's number 1 at the moment on the hockey pool. Thank you. So that would be Campbell, Rhodes, all in favor. Thank you. Councillor Youngberg, did you have anything else to report?
No, I don't, sorry.
That's okay. You put it in with your committee report. We got it. It's okay.
I just did. May 30th.
So we'll let the girls get ready. Councillor Rhodes, would you like to be next?
Sure. That's why I'm number 2 right on there.
That's correct.
Thank you. So just a couple of things. The death of John Slater in the last little while came as quite a shock to me, and I just wanted to pass on my condolences to his family. I don't have an awful lot to say about it, other than the fact that John was kind of a mentor of mine. He kind of encouraged me, along with Mayor McCordoff, to get into politics at the beginning in 2008, and always very, very appreciative of everything that he did in our community. His history goes back an awful long ways, and regrets are always, or deaths are always very regrettable, but certainly I think there's a strong legacy, and I'm very, very much appreciative of John and everything he did in our community. The other thing I wanted to mention was last week we had our first Waterfront Steering Committee meeting with the consultants that will be looking towards developing our new pier at Jarrow Park. And I just wanted to mention to everybody that this process, as we go through it, is not fully determined at this point, and there will be lots and lots of community engagement and public meetings and consultation of that kind. And if you have an opportunity to express an opinion about that particular thing, that's always welcome by all members of council. We've made it very clear that this is not to be a boat facility, that it's to be an extension of our walkway system and a multi-purposing. There will be a boating component to it, but certainly it's to be something that the community can use for a wide variety of different things. So, you know, at any time, any ideas or opinions or anything, certainly get in touch with me or any of the other councillors. Just one final thing, I see we have a couple of guests that sat here. I'm assuming you're Councillor Campbell's parents? Yeah, okay. I'm not sure where you're from. I don't know who you are, but welcome. I'm glad you came.
They're from Toronto.
From Toronto? Oh, from a long ways away. Great.
Toronto,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, welcome to our council meeting.
Thank you. Now, Councillor Campbell, Councillor King, are you okay if we hold off on your reports and we will ask the royalty ladies to come up?
Absolutely.
And then the three of us will do it after. So, Mrs. Basket is here, who is the royalty leader, has been for many years, and we certainly appreciate all the work that she does. And she's bringing 3 royalty candidates who are in the process of going through the paces, and I understand that they've been doing very well. They are, and I'm assuming this is in order, Emma Fernandez and Tiana Morgan and Bailey Tepfer. So are they each going to speak, Mrs. Basket?
They're going in the presentation order, though, so it's
That, is this the correct one, Emma?
No, it's Tiana.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
Okay.
They have a certain order they always go.
Yes, I knew that. So, Tiana, welcome. Would you like to speak first?
Well, my name is Tiana Morgan, and I'm Miss BYLAWS Osoyoos. I joined this royalty program just because I love to travel around BC, and my public speaking skills aren't very well because I'm a little bit nervous right now. And I just really hope to gain more skills that I wouldn't normally get. Normally. And yeah, this is a really good opportunity, and I wanted to follow in my mom's footsteps.
Of course, of course. Well, thank you very much, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And next would be Bailey, of course, because Bailey looks exactly like her father, who I taught in grade 1.
Everybody's in grade 1.
And everybody that comes up, they say, oh yeah, she must have taught them. Anyway, Bailey, welcome.
So my name's Bailey Topher. I'm Miss Osoyoos Elks Lodge 436. I joined royalty to learn how to public speak and to learn etiquette.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next we have Emma Fernandez. She looks like her mother, too.
Teacher?
I don't think I taught her. Welcome.
Thank you. My name's Emma, and I'm sponsored by Desert Air Realty. And I joined royalty to become a better public speaker and to see other communities in British Columbia.
Well, and thank you very much. And both Councillor Youngberg and I have been involved with royalty. Councillor Youngberg quite a bit more in depth than me when my daughter was involved. And so we are very supportive of this program. And I'm coming to the dinner on Sunday, yes. So thank you very much, girls. And I think by your smiles, you'll all do very well. So, Mrs. Basket, did you need to?
Is it okay if we take a picture with all the council?
I would think we could do that, sure. Did you want to come up to the back here? Yes. I taught Kathy's daughters too. We all get this because our daughters are in it. Yeah, that's why we're all
Okay,
involved.
we need to squish together, I think, a bit. And maybe Carol can go that way, then we get the flags in too.
Okay.
It is.
What would you like to do? Oh, okay. Yeah, we do. Okay.
Okay, everybody ready? It might flash twice. We'll do one more, just in case. Good, thank you so much.
Stay there for 5 seconds for, thank you. Count to 5.
Out loud?
Thank you very much. Good luck, girls.
Thank you. Promote Osoyoos as well. Okay? Talk about
Great opportunity to do that. Okay. Next on our agenda is council report. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. First off, hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder, but I wanted to send a congratulations out to Casey Brower for the Coaching Award for Basketball BC. I also enjoyed and want to thank everyone that participated in the Walk for Move for Health Day, which took place on the 8th. Great kickoff for the Market on Main this long weekend, extremely well attended. And this coming week I'll be attending the Destination Osoyoos Annual General Meeting, and also looking forward to the Half Cork Marathon and another exciting, fun, strange weekend coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you in the half? Are you running in the marathon? Oh. Why not?
In a chicken suit.
Got one for you. Thank you. Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I guess I've been on holidays for a week, but just to think forward, I will be attending the DOAGM also, and I think it'll be very informative for all the marketing they have for this town. I think is just wonderful, and I just want to again mention Desert Park having their fundraiser May 30th. Hopefully you get your tickets early because it usually sells out, and hope to see you all there.
Thank you very much. And my report, I just wanted to report on a couple of things that have happened over the last couple of weeks. One was I was on a conference call with the Penticton Regional Hospital update. It happens about every month or two, where we all get on and get a kind of a rundown of what's happening, and they're in. It's quite amazing to me. They're in the process of interviewing 3 companies that will take over. And I don't even remember how many $1 million this new Penticton Regional Hospital tower is going to cost, but it's a lot. And they're not going to make up their mind until the fall. So there's such a procedure to go through to make sure that the companies that have been identified are the right ones and that they know all the particulars. So it's on target and it's up to date, and we get. I'm quite comfortable that things are being done properly. I went up to Mariposa on Sunday. I had been informed that there was a lady up there who was quite a long-time resident of Osoyoos, and her name is Margaret Hack, and it was her 109th birthday. And so I took up a little plaque form that the executive assistant Donna had made for me, and I went in to see her, and I couldn't believe it. I said to her, "I'd like to know what your secret is, because at 109 you have no wrinkles." But she didn't. Her face was just as clear as anything. Anyway, she didn't let me in on her secret, so I'm not sure. But anyway, we say happy birthday to Margaret. It is Public Works Week this week, and it should be, I think, in the paper, because Mr. Lacey took a picture last week. Our Public Works staff are absolutely terrific. They're all out. You will see them out in their trucks planting flowers, well, or supervising the planting of flowers, I think, and doing cleanup and picking up garbage after a long weekend. And so when you see them, please say thank you to them. They kind of, they all have coffee at 10 o'clock, so I went over and got them donuts the other day and took it up to them, which I think they were gobbled up pretty quickly. Museum and home builders, we're still working on that. The regional district had agreed that they would extend the lease. It has not been, there hasn't been a final letter yet, but I was at the meeting. So the lease will be extended for a couple of years, and we did hear from Mr. Hassan today, who's the president of the Museum Society, on what are the updates that they're doing and the things that they can be doing between now and when they move in. So we think it's a very good move. They're taking the high road on this. They've got 2020 vision, which I think is so cool. They're going to move in 2020 at this point. And for the last 2 Saturdays, the members of the Museum Society have been down at, and I call it Super Value, but it's AG Foods now. And they had hot dogs and drinks, and they cooked the hot dogs and onions and drinks, and I was down there last Saturday and this Saturday as supporting them. So we think that they're really gung-ho still, and we hope that it works out well. I'd just like to thank Louisa Carvalho for leading the Move for Health walk. It was called the Walk with Mayor and Council, and actually one of the councillors, Councillor Campbell, and I did the walk. I'm not sure where the other 3 were. However, I'm sure they had a good excuse. We were walking. And I'd just like to say that that John Slater was just a really positive leader in this town for many years. He did 4 terms as councillor and 2 terms as mayor, and then did a 4-year term as an MLA. So we were all very shocked to hear of his death. And last week we arranged to do a little research and discovered that in fact we could lower the flags. So you will see that the 3 flags in front of Town Hall have been lowered in to honor him, and we're very happy that we're able to do that, and we are just wishing condolences to all of his family and kids, some of whom I taught. Anyway, John, you will be missed for sure. I think that's all that we have for today, and it looks like it's a nice sunny day. We don't have any thunderstorms yet, so thank you all very much for coming, and we need to adjourn this meeting. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Thank you. Thanks, folks.